What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to episode 76 of Plant Path Podcast, your choice of for book reviews and crucial conversations since 2021. Today, we are going to be doing implications of educational psychology, and this episode is in response to people asking questions like, how come I can't learn the way I used to? I feel like an olodo. I carry a book, I'm falling asleep. Or this episode is also for tech bros, tech sis, your parents, your teacher, your school owner, your policy maker, instructional designer, HR learning and development, or a corporate trainer, or you just teach people at any level, or you just want to up your learning game. The reason I say this is because there's method to every madness. There's psychology of money, psychology of love, psychology of education, psychology of learning. You understand? So if you want to learn, you have to approach learning as someone that understands how learning works. So come closer and listen to this episode. What I was saying about how learning works, right, is because when you understand how learning works, you won't approach learning from a defeatist mindset. You understand? You don't approach learning like someone that is defeated. You wage a good war with the information that you have. So I said that for people that feel like they are learning apprehensive, like they don't learn as fast as they used to, as quick as they used to, and things haven't just been great with their learning situation, this podcast episode is for them, number one. Number two, this podcast episode is also for people, tech bros and sis, because at some point as a tech person you can find yourself working on fintech, and sometimes maybe a side gig, or you just find yourself working in the education space, creating learning platforms for people. You understand? You need to understand how educational psychology works, how learning works, so that you're creating those platforms from a place of strength. You understand how learning works, and you can serve people ultimately. You understand? Thirdly, this podcast is for parents. Okay, so it is important that parents understand the psychology of education, understand the psychology of learning, educational psychology, because it will help parents to support their children's cognitive, emotional, and social growth. And like I always say, anything you do for your children as a parent also comes back to you. It also helps you to learn, because as a parent, if you're actively involved in your child's life, you're helping them learn, you're learning with them, you're growing, you understand? Everybody will be happy. So don't also leave yourself. So it works for your kids, and it also works for yourself. As teachers and educators, this knowledge helps you to understand how students learn and apply effective teaching strategies. It helps school administrators to create policies and environments that support learning and development. For curriculum developers, the knowledge of educational psychology would help you to design instructional materials that enhance learning outcomes. For corporate trainers and learning and development professionals, it will help to improve adult learning in professional settings. So the same also goes for therapists, special education teachers and therapists, to develop learning interventions for students with learning disabilities, and works also for counselors and educational therapists to help students overcome learning difficulties and mental barriers. Works also for government and policy makers, helps them to understand educational psychology so that they can create educational policies based on scientific learning principles. For school owners, very, very important that your teacher, this, because the knowledge of this will help you create supportive learning environment for your kids to work in. Supportive learning environment for your kids to work in. Supportive learning environment for kids to work through. And also, it's important that as school owner that you bring us, Plant Path Educational Consult, the host of this show, so that we can train your teachers, you understand, on things like this, and the educational outcomes of your school will just be better, because your teachers know better and they can do better, right? So what is educational psychology? Let's go on a quick commercial break. I need to drink some water. So let's go on a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about educational psychology, and if you have any questions at any point in time, please put it in the comments and I'll be glad to attend to it. Thank you. Educational psychology, welcome back. My name is Oluwatosin Abiodun-Lisk, aka Auntie Tisa, aka Abiodun-Lisk. So what is educational psychology? Educational psychology is a study of how people learn, including the teaching methods, instructional processes, and individual differences in learning. It applies psychological principles to education to improve teaching effectiveness and enhance students' learning outcomes. This field examines cognitive, emotional, and social influences on learning and helps in designing strategies to improve educational practices. The implications of educational psychology, why it is good to pay attention to educational psychology. Number one, it helps to understand learner differences. Like I would always say, no two children are the same. It's not even possible that you expect two people to be the same way. That's a hoax. That's not possible. So educational psychology helps teachers recognize that students have different learning styles, intelligence level, and abilities. Teachers can use differentiated instruction to cater to various learning needs, such as using visual aids for visual learners or hands-on activities for kinesthetic learners. Effective teaching methods. Educational psychology provides insights into how students learn, best acquire and retain knowledge. Teachers can apply strategies such as scaffolding, active learning, and problem-solving techniques to enhance comprehension and retention. Motivation and learning. 3. Motivation plays a crucial role in student engagement and achievement. Teachers can use intrinsic, that's self-driven, and extrinsic reward-based motivation techniques to encourage participation and persistence in learning. So why am I doing this episode like this? Because sometimes as a teacher, as someone listening to this podcast, we need to understand that there are so many possibilities available and obtainable in your field. Like there are just possibilities that you can use, and then you can now apply to your own situation and make things better. I was just recently with someone, and I was saying that when I used to teach in classroom, like 9 to 5 classrooms, you understand, everyday classroom, that when I'm on duty during prep, I used to tell my students that, if you keep quiet during prep, if you're quiet, and not only quiet, if you read during prep and you were well behaved, 15 minutes towards the end of prep, I'm going to come into your class and gist with you, just talk to you about, because it was a boarding school, what's going on in the outside world, what's happening, trends, and you know me, I saw gist now. The children will be very happy, you understand, like that's an extrinsic motivation. And on some days I'll sit down with them and I'm telling them, read, not because of me, because it will help you. Even if the knowledge of what we are teaching you may not be applicable in your world by the time you're grown, knowing these things and the value, the discipline you're putting into learning will help you to be a better person and apply yourself into anything you see yourself doing in the long run. So intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Understanding that this psychological principle can be used in education can help you as a teacher, as a parent, as a school owner to say, you understand, address students and also better manage their behavior. Which brings me to point 4, behavior management. Understanding the principles of behaviorism such as reinforcement and punishment helps manage classroom behavior effectively. Teachers can implement positive reinforcement to encourage good behavior and minimize disruptive actions through well-structured classroom management strategies. Cognitive development. Teachers can design age-appropriate learning activities, or users of this information can design age-appropriate learning activities that align with students' cognitive abilities. Like if you're a tech bro, right, and you are designing learning platforms, you need to find out what are the ages of people that will be using that platform and give breaks in between and structure the learning in a way that is age appropriate. Last year, I worked with Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, Lagos DSVA, on a project, safeguarding and child protection course for parents and caregivers. The way that course was structured was in alignment with, and by the way, that course is free. Please go check it out, and please make sure you interact with that material. It's very good. And call me for your learning platforms development, instructional design, and even advisory, right? So the knowledge of cognitive development and educational psychology will help you to give games that are age appropriate, you understand? Or even games that you know that they are for kids, just to catch cruise, you understand, in your learning. So mental health and emotional well-being. The knowledge of educational psychology helps us to bring the topic of mental health to fore in education. So it's not every day that you do math and English with kids. And sometimes bring us to your school to come and do SEL, social and emotional learning. What this will help your child with is that your child will developing coping strategies to manage stress, anxiety, emotional challenges, give a safe environment for conversations to happen. I know you can call one of your teachers to go and download materials online to come and read it to the children, and you understand. But what will help you is bring someone like us. Let's come do this for you people, especially your students. Even seeing someone new in the school is good for them. It has a way of boosting their outcomes. Sometimes a boarding school, the kids have been in school for some weeks, bring us in to come and rev things up before test, before exam, and those students will perform better than on the days you didn't do this. Okay, so the knowledge of educational psychology can also help to can also inform effective assessment techniques to measure student learning and progress. Teachers can use formative and summative formative, that is ongoing, and summative, that's final assessment, as well as alternative methods such as project-based learning to gauge students' understanding. So if you are a parent, sometimes as you are teaching your child the assignment, or you're trying to teach a concept to your child, you know that, is this child understanding it? Let me ask a question. Let me ask them questions, you understand? This is what the knowledge of educational psychology will do for you. If you're a corporate trainer, you know that you don't have to wait till the course has finished and people are finished learning to know whether the company has wasted their money on you or not, you understand? Human resources development manager, you have told your people to maybe take some courses on Alison. It can quickly help them to practicalize it on the job so that they don't lose touch of what they have learned, you understand, in that course that you wanted them to do. Student-teacher relationship. This is number 8 now. A positive student is a positive relationship with learners and teachers will foster a supportive environment and respectful learning environment, which will encourage constructive feedback and build students' confidence. So even if you have a tailoring shop, you can pick these things and apply them in your context. Educational psychology, lastly, right, I need to round up. I don't want this podcast to be longer than 15 minutes. So the use of technology education in learning. Educational psychology informs how technology impacts learning, such as multimedia learning and online education. Teachers can integrate digital tools, adaptive learning platforms, and gamification to enhance engagement and personalized learning. So, after listening to this podcast, what do I expect to see? I expect to see that you are learning better because you have heard different things and different approaches you can use to approach your learning, right? You can teach better. You can also design learning platforms better for kids, and even for adults. For you as a corporate trainer, human resources, learning and development manager, as an HR professional. You understand? The purpose of this episode is just to ensure that our learning game is better, and we are better learners. And that we are just better learners, basically, and we apply the principles of psychology to better our educational outcomes. I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to open you up to the world of educational psychology, help you become better learners and better your educational outcomes. If you've got any questions, I love feedback. We love feedback at Consult. Please put your comments, your questions, and we will really gladly attend to them. Thank you for listening to this episode. Remember, it was brought to you by Plant Path Educational Consult, your choice hub for everything education, training, book sales, educational consulting, and everything education. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself. Remember to share this with your family and friends, and also listen to other episodes by us. Take care of yourself. Bye.